Welcome to the Chronic Warriors podcast with Cassandra A. Campbell.
A platform to share,
Hear,
and cheer chronic illness warriors.
Just know that when you made your commitment to your partner, you took their whole selves.
To be able to have a bad day, to be able to say, do you know what, I can't cope no more.
I am a chronic warrior because every day I wake up and I'm so glad to still be here.
Hello Warriors, welcome to this week's edition of Entrepreneur Chronic Warriors. I'm honoured to introduce my friend, co-author and business partner, Marcia Brock.
Why, thank you very much.
How you doing, Mars?
I'm all right, you know. I say that. No, my favourite word is I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that means a plethora of things, and it depends on who I'm speaking to.
Broken but okay.
Yeah, completely.
So in case you didn't know, Marcy and I have written an autobiography about our lives living with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and other chronic conditions. And our book, which is available on Amazon, plug, is called Broken. We also have our YouTube channel with vlogs about living with EDS and other chronic illnesses. So you can check that out at EDS Unplugged. Okay, Marcia, so do you want to start off by just sharing a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Okay, so who I am, I'm Marcia Brock. I'm a mother to 2 daughters. I have several other children around me, including godchildren, and we run, as a family, a charitable organisation called Smart Kids, started by my oldest daughter when she was 5. My second daughter has been the ambassador of it since she was basically born, and she's now 11, as well as loving to cook as a mum, getting the right balance as a parent and a chronic warrior. And what I also do is my background is in IT. I've done Microsoft networking and Cisco networking, and then 16 years ago started a brand called Smart. During that same period, throughout all of it, for the last 27 years, I've had 5 different cancers. I'm 46. I live with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and lupus, which are 2 conflicting conditions, and learn to balance my health, family, business, wealth, all around that. I started a brand called Smart because I knew I couldn't physically do as much work as I initially could because of my health conditions. Over the years, we've been able to deliver 3,600 plus projects at my last count a year or 2 ago, and help to bring smart technology and smart ways of working all over the world. And I kind of have a saying of anything is possible. So yeah, that's me.
Thank you. So just going back a little bit, can you tell us when you first started to experience symptoms of Ehlers-Danlos syndrome?
I was a child, and I can remember going to my GP and them asking what's wrong. I had like cold hands and feet. My ankles would dislocate, and I was always really flexible, but I would just be in consistent pain, and realizing it's either you live with that pain or you lay in the bed and cry about it all day. So I can remember seeing my GP. I was around 15. I remember seeing my GP just brush it off as growing pains. And even though me and my mum didn't think that's what it was, I just kind of realized, yeah, you don't know how to help me. I've got to help me. So yeah, that was me knowing that I know there's something wrong, but the people I'm going to for help can't help me.
Yeah, I know that story all too well.
Yeah.
Okay, so you touched on earlier about working smart and the fact that your conditions impacted on your career. So could you just elaborate a little bit more on how they impacted on your career?
Oh, okay. So I knew quite early on that my body wasn't coping well with working 5 days a week. and I would tend to book my doctor's appointments on a Friday and have Friday off. And the moment I saw, it was two reasons. Because I knew my body couldn't cope with it, but I also saw it had tax purposes when you're employed to do work 4 days instead of 5, because it literally at my pay scale back then, like when I was like 18, 19, it made very little difference. So 4 days to 5 days, but it made a lot of difference in days and times. So I would work 4 days a week, and my body appreciated that more. I could then have not like crashing out on a Friday in the evening and Saturday and Sunday and barely recovering for the Monday to start all over again. So I realized quite young, I was about 19, but also I got my first diagnosis of cancer at 19. I didn't have a diagnosis of EDS until my mid-20s. So I think having the cancer so young made me realize that, for one, health is really important. 2, working smarter, where my background's in IT, I studied IT, and I could work remotely back then, which now everybody's, how many, like I was 19, how many years later is waking up to?
The possibilities, yeah.
Yeah, the possibilities were better for me because I could work on a computer without having to be at a base consistently.
Right.
Still quite young that this way would suit my health needs better. When I got into Cisco networking, it changed because I had to be more physical and on location. So I was in that shorter than I was with Microsoft networking, and that's why I built Smart, because I was like, okay, we can use this service and that service, and that will make it smarter. I can sit at my home and use the TV screen instead of the laptop, and that will make it smarter. We can use the phone and make it smarter. So yeah, that was my disability, and my health is a massive reason for the brand Smart, right, because I just needed things to work smarter.
So it sounds like it wasn't, and correct me if I'm wrong, but because you're already in that mindset, and I know from in our book you speak about having entrepreneurial skills from very young. So the transition from being an employee into a business owner, entrepreneur, I would imagine it wasn't that difficult.
No, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, sorry. I do forget to say that. I started my first little company when I was 9, and it was raising money for our hospital, and it carried on building connections with the family and their businesses and more people in my network. So no, I was always doing it as a hustle, as I didn't I didn't register an official business till I was 29. So like that was like 20 years later. And it's because I never realized that that's what I was doing, that I was actually running a business.
Right.
I just thought I was hooked. Like I would get people jobs. I would get and I get my referral fees. I could get people either jobs and they give me like a drink back in the days kind of thing. But I just always had a big network from young. Mm-hmm. My mum's got like 165 first cousins, so I believe that's a factor. But then I've made a business network and my own personal network and my computer network. So networking I think is basically the basis of the kind of stuff I do in regards to connecting people and connecting work and connecting systems and connecting computer systems and technology. But yeah, I could always envision different ways of doing things, and people would often say, oh, that's really smart. So that became a theme, and I still get it now. Oh, that's a really smart way to do that. Mm-hmm. So the brand keeps on speaking to me all the time.
So how would you find, how do you manage your symptoms and manage running your businesses and doing your networking and that whole lifestyle?
Oh, that was a whole process. So I had to crash and burn a number of times. I'm a 5-time cancer survivor. if I was to say how many times I've had flare-ups, I couldn't have never counted.
Yeah.
So I really had to learn the hard way. You know, like people get cancer once and they learn the ways of to help their body not to get cancer again. No. I didn't do that. I continued with processes and foods and toxins that I wasn't aware was causing my ill health. I finally, in my probably late 30s, learned to listen to my body and realizing, oh, this is when it means to switch off and switch down. This is what it means to not run yourself into the ground. So yeah, I learned very late, even with all of these smart technologies stuff, I learned very late to listen to my body. And I'm very grateful that it's got me to like almost 46 years old. And yeah, it took me a long time to listen to it. Yeah, I can say it's really beneficial to learn to listen to your body as early as possible. Know the signs in your body. Know, like, I used to go to bed for about a year with screaming headaches, thinking, that's just life, innit? And not realize I had brain cancer. So I had lots of warning signs for my health conditions, but I ignored a lot of them because I wasn't putting myself first. I had children, I was dealing with my children, and not that that was any excuse to them, it was just how it was me not listening to me. Now, talking about our health journeys, it helps me to listen to my body again even more. So I've learned coping mechanisms for realizing when I'm in pain and switching myself off and not talking about work and just doing the eating, resting, cleaning my body type stuff, just go right back to basics. I've only been able to do that because I do have people who continue to do the work that I know I'm contracted to, or people either support. My daughter stepped up as a carer. She's now 20 and she's officially my carer now, and she tries to help me notice any signs where, because I think I've been in work since I was 9, so I kind of am always on. And my lupus is cerebral, so my brain has a problem with switching off.
Right.
So yeah, I think that's why I've been able to do so many projects. So even though it's maybe a health condition and it meant to be a disability, I'm grateful for the lupus because it has meant that my brain's had to work as smart as possible. And the fact that it doesn't switch off as they say normal people do, it's been able to do so much. And then I'm grateful for the EDS because otherwise I think I would literally work 20 hours, if not 22 hours a day. EDS means you have to switch off. You have to sit your ass down. You can't walk on days, so lay in the bed. So there's a balance to, like, I think I do have a positive mental attitude because I've survived so many things so many times, because that's not including car crashes and near misses and little accidents that could have been lethal kind of stuff. The cancers and the EDS are like, oh, I'm positive because I know I'm meant to obviously be here. Thank you.
So going back, I heard you say that you're grateful for the lupus and you're grateful for EDS. And I think some people might find that difficult to understand.
Because I have it, there's no point me hating or being angry about any part of me. So I found to accept the conditions that I have, find the most positive parts of it and focus on those. Because I found if I focused on the negative parts, I become negative. I feel negative, and I look at something that I literally cannot control as a negative. So my brain does a switch where I'm like, no, what are the positives to this? The fact that I could work and ignore my children for hours. However, my EDS means I know I need to shut off because then my body will crash.
Yeah.
My lupus means the same thing. So I'm grateful for that. if I was to have a normal functioning body, God knows what I would do to that poor body.
I hate
I love martial arts. I don't do it as often as I used to, but when I was younger, I would kick bags and be punching and break lots of bits of my body and carry on. So that's why I say I'm grateful for the lupus for certain things. I'm grateful for the EDS for certain things. I'm grateful for the cancer because it made me appreciate life in every single waking day. And that is why I do say that, just so I'm not speaking negativity onto my body, onto my life, onto my mind, because negative words can be cancerous to you.
And words are powerful, you know, and
Very.
obviously being a mindset coach, when I say to people or even post about being grateful and being grateful for what we have, I think a lot of people don't get it. And when I, you know, might speak about it not defining me, that I have these conditions, because there's more to me than having these conditions. It doesn't mean, you know, you're disregarding or dismissing what's going on, but it is about that acceptance, because, you know, like yourself, for me as well, accepting that this is what it is, it helped me to move forward in life and to actually be motivated and driven and whatever else to go for what I wanted in life, instead of curling up in a ball and never getting out of my bed every day. So that whole thing, you know, about mindset and the words that we speak and what we tell ourselves and appreciating what we do have, it's really, really, really powerful, I think. So I totally agree with you on that.
I'm so thankful for you talking through for that. Thank you so much.
And I think as well, you know, when we've done our workshops, our confidence building workshops with the teenagers at EDS UK,
I loved it. I loved the impact of it.
I really miss it.
I love the impact that we were able to give those young people. I literally I realized from doing another project that a lot of people's issues, especially females, our root cause problem is confidence. So doing that confidence building workshop, seeing from beginning of the workshop till how long was it again?
It was a few hours, because it was like a sort of about 3 or 4 hours, obviously with breaks. And
seeing the transformation. We just happened to have girls in it. We didn't have any boys at one particular workshop that I remember. But just seeing the transformation of the children, just seeing those young people literally change in front of your eyes, and knowing like the parents' feedback to us afterwards. I miss that class.
And that's why I love doing what I do. I love it. That's what it's all about. It is about seeing the people that you work with and support going through that transformational journey. When you first start talking to them to when you finish, it's just a fantastic feeling. That's why I absolutely love what I do. And that's the same with me. If you sit me down to have a business talk, I would talk for hours. Ria, my oldest daughter, last night, she was like, "Mum, you're going back to business talk." We was having a conversation in the evening. It's something in the family genes, for one, because me and a lot of my first cousins are like this. And we're blah, 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 business, or this project and that, and we can connect and we can do this. So I definitely know it's in the family genes. However, it's because you can make such an amazing impact. The newest project is finally released to the world, which is a smarter homes technology, and it does luxury end, but really the impact is to people with disabilities, people with health needs, and being able to make them live independently and thrive in their home. And I love that side of it. Literally love all the gadget side, all of the smart stuff you can do, and you can make this work, and you can talk to this, and you can do that. But seeing that somebody who has been classed as disabled, because sometimes people don't like that word, and seeing they find that this ability now gives them an option to have these and these things, I really love it. And even with the charitable stuff we do, I love seeing the impact, literally do. And I think if you don't do things that you love every day, again, you can be negative. So I just know I couldn't do that. So needed to do things I actually loved. That's really important, I find as well. Okay, so on the real,
Yeah.
positive mindset, what we speak into existence. But you have bad days though, right?
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, yeah. And I allow myself that. I think, like, I allow myself to feel like today is a bed day. Because if I get up, I'm going to spill this negativity onto lots of people. So let me stay my ass at home. Or I think, God, like, really? Today is extra difficult. Please, like, can you just ease up a bit? I find that I think once I learnt to allow myself to be able to have a bed day, to be able to say, do you know what? I can't cope no more. My body's shutting down. It's really painful or anything. And I can't do this, or let's rebook, or let's renegotiate, or let's never do it again. I just allowed myself to do that. It helped me cope better with the negative days.
Right.
Or the days that I'm having a flare up, or the days that I have to go into hospital. I've had to find positive ways, even in the negative days. You know, I will have my rants. I'll be, I hate blah, 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 blah. This is happening. And I feel no way, because I'm allowed to do that because we're human.
Exactly. It's funny sometimes when you call me or you'll text me first, you say, I need a rant. Are you in the mood? And I'll be like, yeah, come on, bring it on.
I've learned to speak to my network with, do you mind if I share something that may be triggering, or share something that's ranting?
I mean, a great thing
is
we've got each other who understands those.
I had a cope management network from the hospital, and was flung together with different women with health issues and men, people with health issues. And I'm still in connection. You know Kirsty. I'm still in connection with Kirsty. And you know, Kirsty lives really far. It's not a case of we get to see each other. And I always say, no matter how long you know someone, it doesn't matter how close we are. Me and you became so close so quickly. We've done so many things together. I always say time means nothing. It amazes me with our chronic illness warriors who do support each other, because that support is life-changing.
Valuable.
It's valuable, correct, it's life-changing. Even going back to those young girls we've done classes with and doing stuff with EDS UK, I know, even just from our social media likes from them, that's a massive, like, the fact that you're on social media, that's a good thing, if that's what you need to do. Thank you for the messages that you send us in our inbox. I'm glad that out of something that some people, because some people see our chronic illness as such a negative, and I know, like, our book title kind of throws some people off, where they're like, I'm living with this condition and it's a living hell, which it is. It's a literal living hell, living with Ehlers-Danlos. Lupus is mild compared to Ehlers-Danlos. Cancer is, for me personally, mild compared to Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And it's something that we live with consistently each and every day. And having a network of other EDS warriors and chronic illness warriors, it feels amazing, Cass. It does.
Yeah.
Being able to bounce ideas with you and being able to do projects with you on this thing that it wasn't an outside project, it's a blatant inside project because it's my health.
Yeah.
I've got a daughter with Ehlers-Danlos. Obviously, mummy does mummy in it. So she's still in her, it's mummy stuff. But I'm hoping maybe if myself or yourself or somebody I know with EDS helps to impact her positively, that's a blessing too. Realising that my family members have it, even my business network has it, and it'll be great to find a cure. If I've got to be that smart in my brand, I've got to bloody find a smart way to figure that one out. I've been on the phone with some of my business connections, and I'm going shopping and I'm going into the driving, like, wheelchair trolley, and they're like, oh yeah, I forget that you have to do that sometimes. And I'm like, yeah, this is my reality. You can see a picture on social media and I may have cropped out my crutches because I still have difficulties doing that. If you've noticed, you've got the crutch even in our logo.
Yeah, you've got the megaphone. And you know, I had to get I had to get my crutches pimped because, you know, if they're a part of my life, then I thought I've got to make it look kind of, you know, I've got to have style with it.
The smart crutches are beautiful. They look pretty. I'm all right. I'm going to make a mission to myself to make sure this month I actually take pictures with my crutches. I will do it. I will make sure there's images of me and the crutches.
You've got to do what you're comfortable with at the end of the day.
I'm pushing myself out of my comfort zone. It needs to
but if you're comfortable pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, then
yeah. No, like sometimes you got to feel uncomfortable for certain things.
Yeah, definitely.
Because more people do have crutches than they speak about.
Are there any quirky things that you do because of your condition?
So these are the things I rarely ever talk about. So being hypermobile means that you're very flexible. And you know, I can joke about these kind of things with you off camera. Yeah. So many people who visually see it. So I do yoga and I can go into positions that most professional yoga, what are they called? Yogis?
Yeah.
Train their body to do. And I can do it with ease, which then has personal benefits when you're in a relationship. Or visually looks appealing. And quirky things I can do the splits at a drop of a hat. I can, in my body quirkiness, I try not to do tricks and stuff anymore, but I do like bounce yoga because I can do like a sitting down form of yoga that I find is less strenuous on the body. Because it is so flexible and makes me more spatially aware of my body in space and time when I do it on the trampoline. That's a quirky thing I found. Doing yoga on the floor, for instance, somehow removes that factor in my brain where my body, what's it called? Proprioception?
Proprioception, yeah.
Proprioception, yeah. So I found using the trampoline forces me to know where my body is in space and time better. There's like electrical gadgets that I use around the home to help me, which I just assume that lots of people do. Like I don't have proper hoovers. I have these sweepers, electric sweepers that are like granny olden day thing, but new age now. They've jazzed them up. The Geox and Shark have jazzed them up. And that's people's like, oh, you've got so many of these little things. And I'm like, it's because it actually helps me. Because a big old hoover to lug it round on all the floors of the house is like, I've got 3 floors. I ain't lifting the stairs. I will like dislocate something, bringing it up the stairs. So I have like a little hoover on each floor. The ground floor has one with a handle. The middle floor has the big main hoover because all the bedrooms are there. And then the top floor has the little hoover. Yeah, those are quirky things I do where I've got like 3 hoovers in my house. And I like to laugh. I like when we laugh because it's hilarious. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a bit of a joker. Yeah. So yeah, in my personal life, I'm a bit of a joker. Just because I found that laughter's healing and I can make a joke out of the most non-joking thing at times.
Oh, it's been really nice having this chat with you. I know we talk all the time, but this is different. So
yeah, thank you. It's been lovely. Yeah,
it's been cool.
We've got different responses. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's a different dynamic.
Again, we're gonna do these kind of ones. I'm gonna do it to you on the lives on the EDS Unplugged.
Oh God.
There you go.
I don't know about all of that. We'll see about that one.
Yeah.
I know you will coerce me into it.
I think that's one of my gifts. Thank you very much.
Very persuasive. less persuasive. Have you got any tips
Mm.
for people like us who have
Yeah.
chronic illnesses or chronic conditions who want to become entrepreneurs, businesswomen, businessmen?
Yeah, I do. Do it. Just do it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's for people with chronic illness, working for yourself. If you can and have learned how to reach out for help when you need it, do it. Build your team, build people around you, and learn to listen to yourself, and don't be a control freak. And yeah, let it be what it is, but do it. It's a godsend to me, and if it can be a godsend to anybody else, I definitely say do it.
Okay, cool.
Mm.
Right. And I'd like to end on this note. I'd like you to finish this sentence for me.
Mhm.
I am a chronic warrior because.
I am a chronic warrior because I did it anyway. For all the negative, what was the word? Diagnosis of how long I will live. For all the limitations that was placed upon me when giving me diagnoses. For all of the family and friends who didn't think that certain things were possible, I did it anyway.
Love it.
So, yeah.
I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for being
My
my
pleasure.
guest.
My pleasure, Cass. It's been lovely.
Yeah, it has, definitely. And we shall speak soon, as we have many, many projects in the pipeline between us. I know you have for yourself as well, but also
Yeah.
between us. So watch this space. It's going to be
Definitely.
exciting.
Yeah, very much so. Thank you, Cass.
All right. Thank you, darling. Speak to you soon.
Thank you. Love you. Speak to you soon. Bye.
You've been listening to the Chronic Warriors podcast. Please remember to like, subscribe, comment, and share this podcast.